Steve, you ever walk through the self-help aisle and just get tired reading the titles?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you see a title like this one, it's like a corporate buzzword generator exploded all over a motivational poster. You just know it's going to be 200 pages of pure fluff. It's the kind of book that expects you to high-five yourself in the mirror every morning, and yeah, that's a hard pass for me.
All right, so let's get into the real problem here. Look, trying to improve yourself, that's not the issue. Not at all. The real problem is that you're wading through this massive ocean of books that are all inspiration and no instruction. They're great at making you feel good for a second, but they offer zero practical advice for when things actually get tough.
And there's a few reasons why so many of these books just completely miss the mark. They boil down really complex problems into slogans like, just think positive. They act like you've got all the time in the world for meditation and journaling. And a lot of the time, the authors are so far removed from the struggle, they've totally forgotten what it's like to be in the trenches. But it all really comes down to this one thing. They promised you an overnight transformation. And we all know real change is, well, it's slow and it's messy. So this is the key. Right here, you've got to learn to spot the difference between that empty, feel-good inspiration and a real actionable strategy. Just think positive. That's empty inspiration. Actual cognitive behavioral techniques, that's strategy. Vague affirmations versus specific systems-based habits. You see the pattern? We're not looking for a temporary sugar rush of motivation. We're looking for the actual toolbox.
So what makes a book actually helpful? That is the perfect question. Okay, let's start with the foundation, habits. And for that, you have to look at Atomic Habits by James Clear. This book is, and I'm not exaggerating, a total game changer. It gets you to stop relying on motivation and willpower, because let's be honest, that stuff comes and goes. Instead, it's all about building smart, effective systems. And the big idea, the thing that makes it all click, is what he calls identity-based habits. Here's the shift. The goal isn't just to achieve something like running a marathon. The real goal is to become the kind of person who does that thing. So you stop thinking, I want to run, and start thinking, I am a runner. Every tiny action, even just putting on your shoes, becomes a vote for that new identity. And that's what makes it stick.
But what about being productive without burning out?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And Cal Newport's book, Deep Work, has a fantastic answer. Seriously, this book is the antidote to the constant chaos of pings, dings, and notifications we all live with. Newport's whole argument is that the ability to truly focus without distraction is becoming a superpower. It's getting rarer and rarer, which makes it more valuable than ever.
And he makes this really clear distinction that's so important. On one hand, you've got shallow work. That's all the busy work, replying to emails, jumping between meetings, all the stuff that makes you feel productive but doesn't actually move the needle. Then you've got deep work. That's the focused, heads-down concentration that really pushes your skills. It's where you solve the hard problems and create real value. That's where the magic happens.
But look, being productive isn't just about managing your calendar, right? It's about managing your own head. And for that, you absolutely have to check out Brené Brown's The Gifts of Imperfection. It's this amazing research-backed guide to dealing with all the stuff we struggle with internally. Perfectionism, people-pleasing, and learning how to just embrace who you actually are. And her whole message can pretty much be summed up in this one powerful idea. She says, vulnerability is not weakness, it's our most accurate measure of courage. Just let that sink in for a second. That one sentence just reframes everything. It's basically giving you permission to be a messy human instead of a perfect robot. It shows you that real strength isn't about having all these walls up, it's about being brave enough to be seen. Okay, but even with a good book, how do you actually use it without getting overwhelmed? Yeah, that is such a crucial point. You can't just read the book, you need a strategy for it. So here's the simple framework. 1. Before you even crack the cover, know the specific problem you're trying to fix. 2. Don't try to absorb the whole thing. Just hunt for one core concept you can use. 3. When you take notes, write down actions, not just cool-sounding quotes. And finally, this is the most important part. Test that one idea for 30 days. Put it into practice immediately. Because honestly, knowledge you don't apply is just entertainment. And hey, to save you some time and cash, here are the red flags to watch out for. Any book that promises an overnight transformation, big red flag. An author with zero relevant experience in what they're writing about, another one. If it's all just feel-good stories with no actual research to back it up, you should be skeptical. And definitely be wary of anything that claims to be the one magic system that works for absolutely everyone. Life's just not that simple.
So if you were to recommend just 3 books to start with, what would they be?
All right, the perfect starting lineup. Book number 1, without a doubt, has to be Atomic Habits. We talked about it earlier, and it's really the foundation for everything else. Think of it like installing a new operating system for your life. It's all about making tiny, consistent changes that add up to something huge over time.
Next up, number 2 is Digital Minimalism, also by Cal Newport. This one is the perfect follow-up to Deep Work. In the crazy, distracted world we live in, this is basically the survival guide for getting your time and your attention back. It gives you a really practical philosophy for making technology work for you instead of the other way around.
And for number 3, to build up that mental resilience, you've got to read Feeling Good by Dr. David Burns. This book is like a practical toolkit for your brain. It breaks down the core ideas of cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, in a way that's super easy to understand. It literally teaches you how to spot and challenge the negative thoughts that fuel anxiety and self-doubt.
So after all that, what's the big takeaway? I think it really boils down to this. Progress is slower than the book's promise, but it's way faster than doing nothing. No single book is going to be a magic pill. Real change takes time, it takes work. But actually taking the right ideas from the right books and putting them into action, that is always going to be better than just staying stuck where you are.
If you loved this content, please share it with someone who might need to hear it. And please make sure you click like on this video and subscribe to our channel for more. Thanks for watching.